Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a good morning this morning. I'm down here in Lutz, Florida this morning. So let's go ahead and start off the morning with bringing on our co-host, Mr. Dolphin Winters, along with Mr. Russell Hotman.
What's going on, brothers? I'm sitting here with Brother Russ.
What's going on?
Chilling. Good morning, you guys from Fall Rivers, Massachusetts. How you guys doing this morning?
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's go ahead and bring on Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, John? It's good to see everybody. How are you?
Good to see you too, brother. How you feeling, man?
Good. Had breakfast, did a little shopping, got to stop and get my Dunkin', and then going home.
Well, I'm putting the screensaver on because I don't have nothing to hold this up, so I'm not holding this phone.
Got to put a pop socket on the back. So now we actually have something to talk about.
Yes, we do, and I'm excited now. I really am. I'm excited personally. I think we got physical guys, and that's what we want. I think some physicality, and we got some physical players.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I mean, I think we had a good draft. I know there's a lot of negative people out there putting all kinds of comments and stuff up, and they're entitled to their opinion, but I think we did well in the draft. We addressed needs.
Yes.
You know, we filled holes. We got big physical guys for the defensive line, a big physical offensive lineman, a running back that's, was very good in college. So, got a safety, a corner.
Yeah.
I know Chris Greer knows he's not going anywhere because the way he did the drafting, he has no intentions of going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. We have 3 third-round picks for next year already.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he built draft capital with a couple trades. We ended up, what did we draft? 8 guys instead of 10.
Right.
He got guys that he wanted. He addressed the defensive line. He got the offensive lineman. Would I have liked to have seen another one with that 7th pick instead of another defensive tackle? Yeah, but, they went the way they went. How many undrafted free agents did they sign right away? Like 5 or 6?
Nice.
I haven't even seen that yet.
Oh, yeah. No, as soon as the draft was over, they started coming in and they signed like 5 or 6 undrafted free agents right off the bat. One of them's guaranteed $100,000. One of them's guaranteed $200,000. If you look it up, there is a list of guys that they took. It might be more than 5 or 6 now, but as far as I'm concerned, my opinion, I would give us a B+, A- for the draft.
I see. That's the grade I was looking at too. And Russell can probably help you out with the guys that you were talking about.
We signed, I think 8 free agents, a couple of receivers. In our draft alone, we addressed what we've been talking about for weeks and weeks about a physical mentality on your team. Grant's going to fit in well with Sela. We got Jordan Phillips, a big defensive tackle from Maryland. The 7th round last pick that we had of our 7th round was Biggers from Georgia Tech, another big physical guy. We got a corner from Florida, pretty good. A good safety, decent safety. He dropped a lot of interceptions, but he's always around the ball. Trader Jr. Ollie Gordon's going to be a steal because he was the Doak Award winner 2 years ago, meaning the best running back in college football. And we got him, what, in the 5th, maybe 6th round?
Yeah.
And he's a Derrick Henry type. He's physical, he's big, and he's fast. He's not fast like Ford, too fast, but he doesn't get caught. And
that's what we need on 3rd and 4th down. That big guy to run the ball up the middle, get the first down, and then keep going.
There you go. There you go.
And the key is everybody was always complaining about the shiny toy under the Christmas tree. Well, we addressed our mentality first and foremost, because it doesn't matter who you have as receiver or running back. If you don't protect your quarterback, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you have Dan Marino back there, Fran Tarkenton, you pick a knee ball. If your quarterback's on his back, he's going to do you no good.
Good morning, Mike Gerard. I just know every time I wanted someone draft, they would get.
What'd you say, Paul?
Every time I called for someone being picked, they would get picked right ahead of us.
Well, that's the luck of the draw. You remember what I had said a while back when we first started talking about the draft? I said that we needed to get Booker. What happened? Booker went right before our pick.
I know.
Everybody, Booker's not a first round pick. He should be 2nd round. Yeah, well, he went 12th.
There's a lot of big pitches in the draft.
Mark coffee, caramel, just cream.
There, I got him on mute for now.
Yeah, we don't need a cappuccino here.
There's a lot of, just guys that went way earlier than a lot of people thought, and a lot of guys that went later than people thought also.
Listen, that's because if you listen to the talking heads, and I don't care what anybody says, as far as I'm concerned, Mel Kiper is an asshole. He sits there talking all this garbage, but go back and look at some of his previous stuff where he's talked in drafts. This quarterback's going to be great, and then the guy's a bust. This guy sucks, and the guy makes the Pro Bowl his first year. Anybody wants to listen to those morons on TV, you go right ahead. It's your choice. But as far as I'm concerned, ain't none of them but talking heads. And any of them that get on there screaming and yelling about stuff are the worst ones.
You know, I learned a long time ago, if you don't judge with your own eyes and ears, then what good are you?
Right.
It's easy to be a follower. Anybody can be a follower. If John said something, or Papa Paul says something, or Saul says something, they are totally entitled to their opinion. But if you know something ain't right, you can see and hear it. I mean, everybody wants to be the special guy with the pick, or I know this, or I know that. Dan Marino was the last pick of the 1st round. Him and Darryl Green, 27 and 28 when it was 28 teams. How'd that work out?
Yeah, both of them are in the Hall of Fame.
The last 2 guys in the draft in the 1st round both went to the Hall of Fame. How about Todd Blackledge, who was drafted ahead of Marino? Ken O'Brien, Tony Eason. What are them guys doing? Nothing. So it doesn't matter. Tom Brady, who I hate saying his name, but we'll only use him in this instance, he was a 6th rounder.
Yep.
6th. Doesn't matter where you drafted. It's all what's inside your chest. That thing that beats and pumps blood is going to decide whether you're going to be good or not. If you don't have the will to be successful, you won't be successful. I don't care if you were drafted 9th round, 30th round. You got to go in there with the mentality of, I'm going to show these guys that they made a big mistake passing me. I'm going to come in here with this mountain on my shoulder rather than a chip. And I'm going to play to show them what you did I should have been higher, but it doesn't matter now because the draft position ain't gonna help you when somebody's running you over. Ain't gonna help you catch a ball. It's not gonna help you make a tackle, whether you were picked first or last. Like Saul said earlier, Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, picked 257. And he's a Pro Bowl, and he's going to be making like $52 million in a few weeks. Does that? And he took his team to the Super Bowl. So it doesn't really matter. Everybody online, I mean, if you go on, whether you go on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, everybody's complaining about certain things. Everybody looks good at March in T-shirt and shorts, just like spring training in baseball. Oh, yeah, you'll hear about Joe Schmo for whoever. He hit 9 home runs in spring. Then the regular season that starts, he couldn't throw a rock in the ocean standing on the beach. So, you know, we got to give these guys a shot. I personally, being a fan of 55 years, I actually like this draft. 8 guys, 6 are going to be contributors. 2 may be special teams or practice team. And who knows what we got in the unsigned guys that we just picked up. Might find a gem or 2. Who's to say?
Hey, the last couple of years we have found a gem or 2 in undrafted free agents.
That's true.
Yep, we found Kohu that way.
We found Nick Needham that way. We found
Storm Duck.
Yep, Storm Duck.
Storm Duck.
Yep.
I mean, we've done well over the last 4 or 5 years with undrafted free agents. We keep 1 or 2 of them every year.
Yes, sir. The key to our draft, like I said, is we had to say, we've said this for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, that we have to have in our first 4 picks 3 starters and contributors. And I'm not saying they have to be Pro Bowlers, but 3 contributors that make our team better. And I feel that those 3 that we drafted in the first 3 are going to be contributors.
Oh, true. I think the first 5 or 6 are all going to be contributors.
But I'm saying as in starting, I think only 3 would start.
No, because both that corner and safety could start.
I don't know if they'll be so. I think we're going to pick up another corner in free agency, maybe a Mike Hilton or somebody. I don't know if the Dolphins want to have a starting safety and a corner as rookies. I mean, if it's possible, John. I mean,
Philadelphia did it and won the Super Bowl.
But also, Philadelphia has a bunch of beasts in the front and in the middle. So, their corners were both veterans that they kind of mentored those guys. So it wasn't too bad. If we don't have Jalen Ramsey to mentor somebody, it's going to be a problem. I'm not thinking that Cam Smith is going to be a mentor. So we'll see.
Ramsey's going to be a post June 1st.
I mean, you know, we're going to see. Like I said, I'm very optimistic because obviously as fans heading into the draft, we were already doomsaying. Oh, we're not going to get this. Oh, this is going to go wrong. But I'm cautiously optimistic. I actually like the draft, and like John said, I think it's like a B plus. I mean, I'm not.
Agreed. I agree.
Yeah, I'm not upset about it.
Not at all. I mean, that's something that I've been saying that we need to address is physicality, and we addressed the physicality in this draft. And just now, and with the players can help these young men out. So, I mean, that's the key things right then and there. But I think we're going to be okay. You know, the key thing is protecting Tua, and I think we addressed that. You know, we're going to have to see how it gels. Hopefully, we don't have to have a million rotations on the offensive line. You know, due to injury, if you're doing rotations, you're just rotating guys in and out just for plays. I would rather that than injuries are a part of the game. And that's something that we still have to work on in some more depth, which hopefully we can find some of these undrafted free agents help with our depth situation. So, I mean, we just got to sit back and, like you say, Johnny, we just got to wait and see. Like, that's basically what it comes down to. I mean, I'm very draft.
Yeah, I mean, our first pick basically, you could say he replaced Calais Campbell or Wilkins, however you want to say it. He's a big dude, physical as hell, has a motor that doesn't stop, especially for his size, which is amazing. 330 pounds, and the kid just keeps going.
Real quick, Mike Sherrod, I have no way of posting on Facebook this morning, so if you want to join, you have to come in through YouTube.
There he is.
All the negativity stuff drives me nuts reading it. It's like, well, what were they thinking? What were they thinking? They're filling holes.
Right.
People don't realize when you kick the can down the road, you got to pay the piper at some point, and we have to pay the piper. So you got to rebuild through youth. Like I said, I think the guys that we drafted, 4 of them are going to be major contributors, and I'm not saying Pro Bowlers, so I don't want people to be attacking the show saying that guy's crazy. I'm saying we had a lot of spots to fill. Our defensive tackle position, losing Calais Campbell the year before, losing Wilkins. We got a kid, that Grant from Michigan, nonstop. You got Jordan Phillips from Maryland, another physical, tough guy.
Big dude, another big dude too, 320 pounds.
And then you got the guy from Arizona that we traded up from 48 to 36, I'd say, to get. He was the second best guy in the country behind Booker. What's the problem with that? Physical. Mahler.
Yeah. Go watch his tape.
And we got back.
I'm not going to
argue.
Andy played both guard positions, and he did start 3 games of tackle, so the kid can move around on the line.
Absolutely.
You know, my biggest fear is, like we all have, it's injuries. I mean, we can't prevent it, but if we stay healthy and we now implore the team to run the ball more and we're physical, we're going to be right there in contention. I'm not saying Super Bowl contention, but we'll be a playoff type team. And I mean, like anything, things change year to year.
Until I see more, until I see training camp and preseason and all, I am still only saying 5 to 6 wins.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I'm not going to change my mind yet until we see who makes the team and how they play and how they practice. And I mean, I'm a little more excited than I was before, but they still got to make the team. They got to fit. You got to find out if they have the heart to be there. So but optimistically, we filled holes. We did what we had to do.
And that's why I said I have a glimpse of hope now, because I said, and we addressed this a couple episodes ago. We need to fill needs, and we did that in this draft. That's why I'm happy with what we have done. Yeah, it might not like Russell just said, it might not be the shiny new toy. It might not be that, but you know what? We have needs, and we have to address those needs, which I think we just did. Now, I'm excited to see what we did in undrafted free agency. I want to see what we signed from them and then look them up too, because I got one more day off, so I'm gonna do a little bit of homework. But I'm excited, man. I really am, because I wanted physicality and I got physicality, and Greer. I think Greer must have been hearing a lot of us saying we need to get physical. Like, this fucking finesse shit is not going to do it. This is not the greatest show on turf. This is not it. This is not it. So we have to get physical, especially because, like Russell said, and like a lot of us said, you can be Super Bowl champions in September and October. When November, December, when them leaves fall, my younger brother said this, when them leaves fall, that's when football really starts. Yep. When it gets cold, and that's when football really starts. It's not how what you do in September, October. It's what you do in November, December, and January.
Yeah, and think about it. I mean, Chris Greer obviously paid attention and looked at what Philly did, because he drafted 3 defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a need. It's something we needed. And it also tells you that Phillips and Chop may not be ready for the season, so you got to have guys that can get in there and play.
Absolutely.
Good morning, Dave Gunkel. Thank you for joining.
What's up, Dave? Yeah, I mean, I'm quietly optimistic about this draft. I think we did well.
Very much so. I agree.
I'm going to disagree with Papa Paul. Papa Paul says we're a 5 or 6 win team. No, I don't see that happen. I see 9 wins in a bad year and possibly 11. You heard it here first.
Well, I hope you're right.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong with the 7-10 prediction. I hope I'm wrong.
I see some major changes coming by June 1st. We're going to add some pieces, little things. I see a 9-win type season, but possibly 11 if things go right. Wild card type team.
I mean, I hope you're right, but right now, until I see more, until I know what's going on, and I see the schedule and everything else, until I see training camp, I'm not changing my prediction.
No, I'm not asking you to change your prediction. You stick with it. So when we talk about this later in the season, Dan Russell, I want you to keep that energy, Paul.
You that positivity up, Russell. I love you, brother.
Oh, definitely. I love all of you guys, man. There's nothing wrong with an opinion. You know, that's the thing about our fan base. Our fan base is so doom and gloom all the time. And if you make a choice, or Saul makes a choice, or Johnny O makes a choice, our fan base jumps all over you for your choice, rather than just say, hey, that's his opinion.
You can wait in? Alright.
Right. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Listen, I was reading stuff over the last couple of days, and people are bitching about every single pick and complaining about this, complaining about that, and why did we do this and why did we do that? And listen, they filled needs. They filled holes.
The funny thing is, John, you're right. We filled holes because we added to our salary, and we kept piling on, trying to keep putting a Band-Aid over a flood.
Yep.
And eventually the flood's going to rip through the Band-Aid. And nobody wants to admit that. You paid, you keep giving people raises. It's like working a job. And the guy next to you gets a raise, and you say, what about me? Then I give you a raise. And the third guy, what about me? Before you know it, you can't give up raises no more. You got to pay the piper. Somebody got to go.
Yep. And unfortunately, that's what happened. We lost guys that were homegrown talent. We couldn't pay them. Now we got to replace them.
Well, the funny thing is, of all the people that we lost over the last 3 years, the only ones I'm really upset about were Van Ginkel and Needham. Everybody else, okay. You didn't pay them when they needed to be paid. I understand all that. But I was upset with losing Van Ginkel, who was a good rotation guy. I liked Needham. He recovered from his Achilles. They didn't play him. But yet you played other guys that you had, quote unquote, your third, fourth, fifth corners, whether they were in special teams, whether they were rotational guys in the secondary. But yet you had a guy in your system for 4 years. You let him walk out the door. You signed Artie Burns, who hadn't been in your system, who's off injured. He was hurt with Seattle. He was hurt with Pittsburgh. But yet the guy that you had hurt and that recovered, you didn't keep.
Well, Uncle asked what we thought about our draft of the quarterback.
Quinn Ewers is pretty good.
I think he's decent. I mean, listen, he's starting in college and he held off, Manning. It's not like he lost his job to Manning. Yeah, there was a couple times Manning came in and played, but he didn't lose his job to him. And we took him late, so you're really not risking anything taking him that late.
And the funny thing about Quinn Ewers, he had a greater year the year before with lesser guys. He's going to be decent.
And the system he played in is similar to what we play. Stay in the pocket, throw it on time, put it where it's supposed to be. He's not a gunslinger. He's not looking downfield, throwing it all over the place.
Well, that's what I said. He's a right-handed Tua.
Right.
No, it's got a tongue out to it. Like we have said before, if our offensive line stays the way it's supposed to stay, we'll be fine. Because we'll be more balanced. It won't be 45, 50 passes. It'll come down to 32, and if we're running the ball, we should be okay.
I just wanted to say I hate you guys. You guys took the guy I wanted so bad. I was cursing you guys.
Oh, is that the Vikings fan?
Yeah.
Who was the guy that we took that you wanted?
Kenneth Grant.
Oh, yeah.
This is why I hate mock drafts. They lied to me and made me believe that Kenneth Grant was going to be available in the 20s. And then when I saw him go, I was like, what the F?
Hey, you know what's funny about mock drafts? That's similar to somebody saying, "Hey, you look nice in that dress," and then when you turn around, they said, "Oh, that's an ugly dress."
But you guys got a really good pick. I was very envious of it.
But Minnesota didn't have that many. What did they have? 6 total, I think.
We had 5 total.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of tough. Who was Minnesota's first round pick?
We picked up the guard from Ohio State, Donovan Jackson.
Oh yeah, Donovan Jackson's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, we've been picking skill players for the last couple of years, and so I'm glad this year they decided to invest in the trenches for our young quarterback.
Yeah, I pay attention a little bit to Minnesota only because my late father was a big Minnesota Vikings fan. So, I mean, and then my brother was a Vikings fan too. So, I mean, I remember the Vikings as a kid in the 70s, of course, in the 80s and the 90s and now. But the only thing I liked that came from Minnesota was Prince.
He did have the best Super Bowl halftime show of all time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's even better when you were there in the rain like me.
But I like your guys. What do you think of the quarterback you guys got? Do you think he's going to beat out Zach Wilson to be the backup?
Quinn Ewers is pretty good. I mean, I don't put much precedence on Zach Wilson. I don't even really know why they signed him, but you know, I kind of hope he does. But I was telling Saul earlier, all the times that you see Zach Wilson, we've seen him with our own eyes with the Jets, and then he couldn't beat our rookie in Denver, Bo Nix. So is he really worth anything? I would trade him for a bag of golf balls right now. You know, I'm not impressed. I'm really not. And I was saying earlier, the only time I want to see him is during TV timeouts with a baseball hat on. Because if he's on the field, then I'm looking towards basketball season again. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be talking basketball in October and November because that's not fun.
Well, we needed a third quarterback, and that's what we got.
So, what do you think? What do you guys think you're going to finish in the division?
It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our own opinions. We literally just talked about how many wins and losses we think we're still going to get and have. The thing about it is it's still so early to tell, and we still got to wait to see what's going to happen after June, and we still got to look at the involuntary and then the voluntary training camps and then all that stuff. So it's still so early to tell. I mean, I said 7-10, but my whole thing is I hope I'm wrong. I hope we're way better than what we are. I think this draft, we addressed physicality, which we've been preaching for a while here in Miami. So let's say this: there's more optimism now than I had about a month ago. Because if you heard me about a month ago, you probably would think the sky was falling. But that's just how the mentality of us, because we haven't gone anywhere or done anything in the last 25 seasons. And once that starts to sink in a little bit, yeah, you're going to start having doubts. It's your team. You love them to the day you leave this earth. But damn it, you want to be wrong, you know?
Right.
I'm optimistically saying a bad year, if we're banged up, 8 wins, but I'm going optimistically 10 to 11 in a good year. Unlike the host of the show who said 6 wins. But I ain't saying any names.
Do you guys think you had a good draft?
That's what
Yes. B plus, A- draft.
Yes. I say a B.
B plus, B plus. I'm right there between A- and B plus. I really I'm really happy what we addressed to. Because we got needs. That's what we needed. We addressed our needs that we had to fill. So that's what this draft was about. And I'm pleased with what Greer did. I am.
And what are you guys going to do with Ramsey then? Is he still going to get moved?
Who knows?
Yeah, that's a wait and see.
Right now, post June 3rd, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, post June 1st, $8 million.
I was laughing at the Jets. I was like, they're getting all these weapons. Too bad they don't have a quarterback that can get the ball to those weapons.
Oh, now you got jokes.
Well, I'm sorry, but I do not. I mean, because I watched Justin Field play for like years because he was in our division, and so I just do not have any faith and trust that he's going to be able to fix the Jets.
I don't think God could fix the Jets.
Right.
You know, I tell people this all the time. If you're a Vikings fan, if you play, say hypothetically, Green Bay 30 times, and Green Bay beats you 28 out of 30 times, I don't call that a rivalry.
Right.
It's not a rivalry to you. It's even, or one person's ahead, maybe a few games. So the biggest bully in our division, I won't mention their name. Everybody knows who they are. They beat us 18 out of the last 19 times. That's not a rivalry. A rivalry is when you beat them 9 out of 9, or they won 9, you won 9. How's it a rivalry 18-1?
Right.
So people make me laugh with, oh, this team, we could do this, we could do that. Till we control what goes on in our division, it doesn't matter whatever else happens. Because if we can't beat the bully in our division, he keeps punching you in the mouth and taking your lunch money. What good is it? You can stop.
Yeah, that's why all three of our teams make fun of the Lions. We're like, oh man, they're such a good expansion team. They just existed 3 years ago.
You know, the funny thing is, when it used to be the NFC with you guys, the black and blue division.
Yeah.
And it was Chicago with Walter Payton, and you guys had Culpepper later with Randy Moss and Jake Reed and Carter. It always bounced around. And Green Bay had 5. So you guys, you beat up on each other. It was fun. Like our division, for almost 20 years, it was the team in the state that I live in. There was nobody else winning. And that's not a rivalry. Everybody used to always bring up, oh, well, we beat them in Miami, but did you win the playoffs?
Yeah.
I went to the Dolphins' last playoff win. That was in 2000.
Wow.
Think about that for a minute.
25 seasons.
That's 25 years ago. So how many times do you think the team in the state that I live in, how many playoff wins do you think they had in 25 years?
Yeah.
Just think about that for a second. And I live in Massachusetts.
I kind of figured.
Yeah, well, I don't like to say it. I like the state, but I don't like the team that resides here.
What do you think? How do you think their season's going to go? Do you think they made massive improvements that they'll actually be competitive this year?
New England's will be okay. I mean, it's all about chemistry. I mean, you can draft everybody you want, but you got to plug and play. You got to, it's going to take a little while. I mean, they're going to be a little bit better than last year.
They're going to be way better than last year.
They're going to be a little bit better than last year. They're not going to be 4 wins. They'll probably win about 6, maybe 7. But, I kind of hope they only win 3 games. But it's realism that they're going to win more than 3 games. But we're not taking into account that you don't know what's going to happen. Injuries, camp, signing, leavings. I mean, we could sit here till we're blue in the face and say, oh, my team's going to win 13 games. Well, realism sets in. Maybe it will, maybe it won't.
Who are you guys playing this year?
We'll play the NFC South, and we play the AFC North.
Oh. Well, I mean,
so we got Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, except Baltimore. We don't play Baltimore.
Yeah.
And then we play the NFC South: Tampa, New Orleans, Carolina, and Atlanta.
You should be able to get some wins out of that division.
Like I said, it's neither here nor there. We're only in April. We'll see what happens in August.
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key month right there. Getting a preseason, August.
We'll see who's going to be showing out, who's not, who's going to be coming, who's going to be going. injuries, God forbid.
So hypothetically, if you guys have a bad season, do you think Greer and McDaniels are gone?
Greer's not going anywhere because he just made a trade to bring extra picks, so he's not going anywhere. But if McDaniel could possibly go, he could go. If, like I said, if by November 1st, if we're not either 5 to 6 wins or in type of contention, if it goes off the rails quickly, he'll get fired. Weaver will run the team for the rest of the year. And who's to say Weaver might not be the head coach next year? He had interviews this year. He could possibly be the head coach. And I mean, you're hearing all the reports. Players don't like McDaniels. This team's doing this. Well, just see. Once camp starts, it's gonna have to turn around. You can't be at South Beach all afternoon and showing up late for wide receiver meetings or defensive back, and then expect the team to be successful.
Let's take a quick commercial break.
What's up, y'all? This is Chef Jew. Looking for a great chef for your next catering party, private party, office party, etc. with welcome watering meals and desserts? Let Chef Jew Catering and Sweet Treats take care of it for you at an affordable price. Call me at 786-804-8096. Also, reach me at chefjewcatering@gmail.com. Direct message on Facebook and Instagram at Chef Juice Catering. Chef Juice Catering and Sweet Treats. Food with a passion. We do it all.
Chef Jew. Get your sweet treats and good eat.
So who do you guys think had the best draft in your division?
In our division?
Yep.
Miami. I don't care about anybody else in our division. That's like we had this discussion the other day, me and Saul. If you're a Vikings fan and your team's season ends, whatever date it ends, you didn't win anything, you didn't win the playoffs, Super Bowl, whatever. Do you go put on another team's jersey because that team won?
Hell no. I still
That's what I'm saying. So I don't care about anybody else's draft. I don't care about anybody's team. Because we talk about this all the time. John can testify to this. Saul can testify to this. Paul can testify to this. This is a lifestyle for us. This ain't fun. This ain't games. This is in your DNA. You love your team. I'm Dolphins 24/7 all day long. I don't care baseball, football, hockey, boxing, cricket. You pick anything you want. I can follow those sports, but when it comes to the Dolphins, that's all that matters. And the key part is, I live in a state where, they won 6 Super Bowls. Big deal. But I'm not about to say, because the team in my state won, I'm going to throw on their hat or their shirt. I'm not doing that. You better put me in the local state prison because that ain't happening.
State prison, you might as well put me in the ground. I'm not putting anybody else's colors on.
I don't want to be in the ground. I got my daughter.
No, bro.
But, people make me laugh with that because I saw during the playoffs, when the Dolphins are out, I'm out. I'm mad as hell. I'm out. Season's over. I'm not rooting for anybody. I care less. I don't bet on anybody. I'm not rooting for any certain team or not a player, nobody. And I seen Dolphin fans, I'm going for the Chiefs. I'm going for the Bills. I'm going for this. I'm not going for that. No way. So why don't you just shovel some shit in my mouth and say, hey, did that taste like steak? Because I'm not doing that.
I agree. Once we're out, I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I'm in a lot of Super Bowl boxes. I just want my numbers to hit.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. But the funny thing is, John, people will justify, I wore an Eagles shirt or I wore a Chiefs shirt. What are you justifying? You're justifying that you're not really a fan of that team you quote unquote root for. Like I said, I worked for Titleist till I retired. 22 years. All I heard from these guys was that my team. And then When their team's lost, they're throwing on the team that's state that they live in. I'm not doing that. I want Steelers fans, Cowboys fans, Jets fans, whoever at my job. Teams eliminated. They're wearing Patriots shit leading up to the Super Bowl. Nah. Same thing with hockey. They were hockey fans. Everybody else. And the year the Bruins were in the finals against Chicago, they're all wearing Bruins jerseys. I'm like, how could you say you're quote unquote a New York Rangers fan or a Buffalo Sabres fan and you're wearing a Boston Bruins jersey? And then your excuse is, oh, but I live in that state. And you're at their parade wearing their jersey when that's not your team.
Yeah, I like that too. Like when we lost in the playoffs, there's like some fans were like, well, if we can't win, I hope the Lions win. I'm like, fuck that. I hope they get
their You know what I'm saying? It's like in your DNA. I tell these guys all the time, but we're all the same mindset. If you cut us, you bleed aqua and orange.
Yep.
Just like if we cut you, you bleed purple and gold, yellow, the Vikings. Because that's your team. When I was a kid, my father was a big Vikings fan. And his brother liked the Bears. You know, they were almost in fisticuffs. I was a 6-year-old. And I'm like, wow, it's like that. Because, you know, they're so into their teams.
Right.
And if your team, like we were saying earlier, if Minnesota went to the NFC Championship and lost, you ain't rooting for the team that beat you or the other conference to win the Super Bowl. Your team's out. Why would you want to do that?
Listen, I had a chance years ago. My best man at my wedding was actually a Jets fan. And he had this beautiful jacket one day. I said, oh, where'd you get that? He goes, oh, out on my route. He goes, you want a Dolphins one? I said, yeah, give me the, and I told him the size. And he goes, here, try mine on. I'm like, no. He goes, oh, I want to get the size right. I'm like, I'm not putting it on.
He's trying to set you up. He's trying to set you up.
I'm like, nope. I said, just get me this size. If it don't fit, I'll worry about it, but I'm not putting that one on. He goes, just try it on. I'm like, no, it's not going on my body. I refuse.
You refuse. Johnny, you want to hear a good one? One day at work at Titleist, we were doing some order. We were getting this thing ready for the ship out. And this guy that used to work in the shipping department says to me, hey, Russell, Dolphins and Patriots playing this week in Miami. Want to bet on the game? So I was like, we're going to beat you because we had that run where we were beating them all the time in September and October in Miami, the Heat. So he says, you want to bet? I said, what do you want to bet? Lunch or something like that? He goes, the loser has to wear the other team's shirt. I said, I'll pay you $1,000, $1 million before I put on a Patriot jersey.
Yep.
You got a better chance as me trying to assault 5 police officers.
Especially nowadays, everybody's got a camera on their phone and snapping pictures. Oh, hell no.
Oh, he ain't pulling that up on me. Nope.
No way.
I went to a party one time. I was telling Saul this. My friend had like a 1990s rap party where you had to wear like something of a rapper. So I went to the party wearing a West Side Connection shirt and a Raiders hat. And my buddy was like, oh, West Side Connection. Everybody knew who it was except a few people. And then this one guy says, oh, Russell, I'm going to take your picture. I took that hat off, put it in hell. I said, you're not taking my picture with this hat on. And he's like, oh, it means rap. I said, it don't mean rap to the people that know me. Because that's fuel for the fire. I thought you were a Dolphin fan. Why are you wearing that? How did that? No, not happening.
Good morning, Broski Berry. Welcome to the panel.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say.
You there, Broski Bear?
States are too soft. Like, oh, it's like, well, if we can't win, I hope they win. I'm like, why would you want your freaking rival to win? Like, that's just fucking dumb.
Like I said earlier, when the season ends for the Dolphins, regardless if it's a playoff run, last game of the season, whatever it is, when the physical schedule ends, and I know my team ain't playing till the following season, my season's over. I'm already in my head thinking about what we need and how we're going to get better. I'm not sitting there saying, well, I hope Bills win or I hope the Ravens win. I'd be like, I hope they shit themselves.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not trying to be a fan of anybody else. I mean, I like players on teams as long as they ain't facing the Dolphins. Like I might admire a player and say, "Oh, he's really good," blah blah blah. I like how he plays, blah blah blah. But when he's like, I'm not going out and buying his jersey.
Right.
I'm not going out and privately saying, "Oh, I'm a fan." I can acknowledge talent. Like Jefferson on Minnesota is great. I like Jefferson. I like Bynum that they had in the secondary. I like Van Ginkel, of course, because Miami. But I mean, I'm not going out and buying their jerseys because they're Vikings players.
Right.
If they were the Dolphins, then I'll think about it. But
Any other questions come in, Papa Paul?
Nope. No other questions.
I got a question. Why isn't the host sleeping? How come he ain't talking?
I'm busy listening to your mouth go.
Well, I want my mouth to be silent. I want your mouth to go.
Well, what do you want me to say? I'm at this point in time. We have the.
I love you. Hey, Paul, I love you, my brother. You know I love you, Paul. I have nothing but respect for you and your show.
How many
I know you do. I know you do.
My
draft picks did you guys have?
my question is, when are we gonna get you out of comfy Florida into cool Massachusetts? That's my question.
It's 54 degrees here. It feels like fall.
Today.
Yeah, today. It was nice until this morning, and I'm like, yo, I looked at the thermostat, it's 45 degrees at 7 o'clock. I'm like, is it winter again? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, this weather is insane.
Well, it's a wait and see game. There's a lot going on in my life these days, and got to wait and see.
Yes, sir.
If
You're
I can
always
see,
welcome,
if I can,
brother. Johnny. You also, Johnny.
We'll see when the game is
I
this year, and
know.
maybe I'll make it up there.
Yeah, you got to. I like I told Saul 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody has to get up here for a game September, October. You'll love it. It's a lot of Dolphin fans.
There's a lot of Dolphin fans. There's more Dolphin fans than what you think.
You'd be surprised.
Literally. That was why I loved when I came up with the game a couple years ago. Like I was like, wow, there's a lot of Dolphin fans here. Like it was a lot.
Hey, my friend from Minnesota, the Vikings fan.
Yep.
Where do you live?
I live in Minnesota.
Oh, you live in Minnesota. Okay. Have you ever been to Massachusetts?
Nope, I haven't.
No, you need to get here.
Minnesota.
You can wear your Vikings jersey out here. Because when we went to the game, Dolphins and Patriots, there was people with all kind of different jerseys. You'll love it. So it's a fun time.
It is.
And the stadium, you'll be surprised. It's like a nightclub.
Literally.
We were dancing in the end zones. We were taking selfies with people that we didn't even know.
You mean at Foxborough?
Yeah, Foxborough. See how the response people get because they don't know. Like me, I've been going to Dolphin games since 1970 out here.
Wow, I wasn't even alive yet.
Listen, my first game as a 6-year-old was the Miami Dolphins against the Boston Patriots.
Well, we all know you're older than dirt, Russell.
Yeah, man. I was at the Last Supper. And you know the funny thing about being at the Last Supper? I didn't get my plate.
I did.
Minnesota, Sarah, how are you with your draft?
Like, considering the amount of draft picks we had, I knew it was like limited because we kind of did our splash draft last season, getting those 2 first-round picks. So I really like the guard that we got to shore up our offensive line. I think we're gonna have a really good top, probably 5 offensive line this year, and that's what you need to protect your quarterback that you drafted 10th overall. I think they really set up the team to for JJ to succeed. So there's like no, I mean, like if Sam Darnold can come here and have the season that he had, I don't see how I mean, I'm not saying we're gonna win 14 games, but I think that we have set up JJ to succeed, and if he doesn't, then that just means he's just not good enough, you know.
How many picks did you guys have this year?
We only have 5.
Okay.
Yep. So we drafted a guard to finish rebuild. We have a whole new rebuilt O line aside from our 2 tackles. Everything in the interior is all new, and then we drafted another wide receiver to be our wide receiver 3. He's a really fast 4-3 guy who's tall. To go with Jefferson Addison, and then we drafted a defensive end, a tight end, and a linebacker.
Yeah, Kobe King, the linebacker you drafted, is really good.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, like when you're drafting for like the trenches, it's not sexy, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's boring." But that's what wins championships, not these flash skill players.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Everybody wants the shiny toy, but nobody wants the guy that's going to be there and it's going to be consistent and it's going to give you what you need. Everybody wants the flash plays. Well, the flash plays ain't going to help you if your quarterback's here or your defense can't stop the run.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to go along the lines of your needs.
Good morning,
and
Shake
like,
Money and
high picks on
What's
the
up,
trenches,
Jake? What's up, Dan?
you know.
Shake wants to know what we think of our Wilkins replacement.
Well, no, tell Shake first. First thing first, Shake, we didn't get the long snapper that you said we was going to get. New England got the long snapper. That's an inside joke. That was from yesterday's podcast. Yeah, he said New England was going to try to draft a long snapper. Sure enough, New England got a long snapper. As I think their last pick.
Second to the last round.
Second to the last round. So, yeah. So
I like Grant. Tell Shake I like Grant in the middle of our defense, and we also added Jordan Phillips from Maryland later. So we got the trenches where we need to. We had to get physical.
Yeah, I'm happy with the Grant pick.
I was so disappointed.
Sorry.
Hey, I was disappointed. I was disappointed when the Dolphins drafted Randy Moss. I'm still mad about that.
I'm very happy with the first 2 picks. It's the rest of the picks that I'm just tossed about.
Oh.
Well, they filled needs with picks. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
All wanted the shiny toy. Oh.
No, Paul never wanted this. He wanted more offensive line help, I believe. I don't think he was worried about the shiny toy.
No, you're right there, Johnny. I did want it. I wanted at least one more guard.
Yeah, but who do you think? We might have got one of those type of guys in the undrafted guys. We just have to wait and see.
Right. Like Johnny always says, we got to wait and see. You know, I know, and it's just like every time I go for a pick, you know, this is who we're going to pick this round, and right before we're beyond the clock, someone else would pick it. It's like, damn you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's funny. I kept saying for weeks I wanted them to draft Booker. He went to pick right before ours.
I know.
Yeah, you got to remember there's 31 other teams in the draft, so things happen. It sucks. But, I mean, similar to when we traded out with Houston. I was like, oh, we're going to get this guy here in the 3rd round. We traded out. I'm like, what? I was like, when he traded for a 6th rounder and a 3rd rounder next year. So right there, it said to me, he ain't going anywhere. And you're going to live with it.
And I'm going to try to get my brother on the show on Wednesday so he can talk about the Eagles, because I think the Eagles had a really good draft as well. They got scary good on defense again. So, yeah.
I don't mention other teams. Just some of the Only thing I like in Philly is salt and pretzel.
Yeah, Dan Burke's got a laugh out of our last pick that we got a good guy named Bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, from Georgia Tech, 7th round pick. Yep.
Yeah.
He's another big monster. Defensive tackle.
Yeah, that for me, out of all the picks, that was the only head scratcher, taking another defensive tackle there at the end. Obviously, it's for depth. You know, he didn't go till the 7th round, so maybe it's a little more of a project, you know, to get him to fit in the NFL. But who knows? I would have liked to have seen another offensive lineman there, but other than that, I'm happy with the draft.
Yep, I'm still saying a B. I think it's a B. My grade's a B.
You know, and I'm not one. I'm gonna read the stuff that these talking heads put out there, and you know, one talking head is going to say, "Oh, Miami had a great draft there in A," and some other talking head is going to say, "Oh, Miami's draft was horrible. I'm giving them a D." And you know, it's all your perspective. And as a fan, we filled needs, we filled holes, we got positions that we needed, we got some depth along the defensive line. So I'm still saying B plus, A minus.
Right.
Yeah, and
I am a B plus guy in the draft.
But you can grade all you want, but until these players take a snap and we really see them live, you're not gonna know. You know.
That part right there.
That's what I had said earlier, my friend. It's all about the eyes and ears test. Everybody can talk and hear and see different, but when it's on the field, we'll know. You can't hide. There's no hiding if you can't play. You can't play, you can't play.
Yeah, if you don't have the heart for it, some of these guys, listen, there's going to be first rounders. There's 32 guys taken in the first round, and every team thinks they got their guy. Some of these guys are not going to work out. They're not going to make the team, or they're going to play out their 4-year contract and go somewhere else because it just doesn't fit the system. Some of them don't have the heart to take the beating that they're going to take in the NFL because it's different than college. You know, some of them don't have the skills that transfer from college to the pros. So,
so wait and see. Just wait and see. That's all we can do. Like I said, I tell people this about baseball.
Okay.
Don't talk to me about your team, the best team in baseball in April. Talk to me in August. Because that's when the cream rises. I don't care.
Guys, it's time to end the show. We appreciate everyone joining us today. We thank you all. Facebook, the Huddle Sports Network, YouTube, everybody joining us. Thank you, Sarah. You all have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Peace, love, and fins up, bro.
Peace, love, and fins up.
See you Wednesday.
See ya.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network on Roku and Fire Stick. This is the first place to find all the latest NFL news, trades, and rumors. If you have a Roku or Fire Stick, access your menu and locate the search bar to perform a channel search. Then simply type in Huddle Sports Network. After completing the search, this logo should appear. Then add to your menu and you're good to go. We cover all your football needs, from breaking news to trades and rumors. So join us and enjoy the sport we learn to love so much. So be sure to add Huddle Sports Network to your Roku or Fire Stick menu and keep informed of all your football news and needs. You can also find us on Facebook and of course YouTube. Thanks for supporting our journey and our passion for football.